I was gonna do one of my classic videos where I just come directly at the comment section and go at comment people and all of that kind of stuff. Y'all know, man, I'm not one of these YouTubers that's just smart enough to ignore people and all that. I'm just not smart enough to do that. All I know how to do is just dive right deep in the smoke and go where it's thickest at, right in the eye of the storm. You know what I mean? That's all I know how to do. So I'm seeing all types of comments and from people right now who seizing an opportunity right now to, like, because the Chicago Sky are struggling right now, because Angel Reese, according to them, is struggling. I mean, really, y'all just numbers people. Y'all not people who look at the game with depth. So I'm trying to understand. Angel Reese is giving you 9 points, 12 rebounds. So according to the way y'all look at things, that really ain't that bad. There ain't too many players in the league right now that's 9 points, 12 rebounds, is 1 point away from a double-double, averaging. So for real, it really ain't even like as crazy as people making it, you know. And as for you, Raphael, Majida, whatever your damn name is, I don't know if you a Hindu, I don't know what you are. You know what I'm saying? Greek dude or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like I told y'all, if y'all keep coming in here saying dumb stuff, like Angel Reese can't make a layup, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start deleting your comments. Because what I'm going to do is only accept real basketball commentary and real basketball talk. In other words, if you come in here and you tell me the truth, like, okay, Angel Reese needs to adjust to the way WNBA defenders defend low post shots, I'll agree. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But don't come in here and keep talking like she's sitting there under the rim by herself with no fucking defense there and just in layups. Like, I'm gonna start thinking you're retarded, and I'm just not gonna allow that space there under my thing. Like, I really don't care about no YouTube check. I really don't care about growing like that. I need 30,000. I don't need none of that shit. All I need is the ability to talk sports. That's all I'm here for. K Stone says, Fulan, did you see last night's game? So many missed layups. I don't want to hear nothing about Angel Reese. Yeah, exactly. They don't care nothing about nobody else's missed layups, nobody else's missed games, none of that. All they care about is Angel Reese, because they have an obsession. They can't get over the fact that Angel Reese and LSU whipped Iowa's ass, and then Angel Reese had the gall as a black woman to mock a little white girl who won. That's all it is. That's all it is. Like, let's just keep it funky. You know what I mean? If it was if LSU's had a white player that did that, half of these people wouldn't even give a shit. You know what I mean? And I know how it works around here. So we not even gonna play them games. We're gonna get real funky today. Cause some joker came into he got me charged up this morning. Joker gonna come into my comment section calling me a black racist. Like, if somebody ever did that in my face, I would smack skin off their damn face. That's what would happen. You know what I mean? Because I don't play that bullshit. You better know what you're talking about. You better have your points thoroughly. And you just better be thorough. That's all I know. So that's what Dr. Umar said. I know Dr. Umar, actually. Dr. Umar from Philly. We used to go to the same mass shit down in South Philly. When Dr. Umar first got his PhD from it's a school here over on City Line Avenue that he went to. When he first did, before he got all crazy super Pan-Africanist, he was always kind of Pan-Africanist, but at the time he was a little bit more reasonable. I remember, like, his first presentation. I also met Dr. Umar. Like, I seen him at a Dundee plenty of times, which just happened last Sunday. He also, my wife is a poet as well, and she, like, appeared. Dr. Umar used to have a local radio show around here, and it was on Sundays, and my wife appeared on there, and she actually spit poetry for him. Like, we go back a little bit. Like, I know dude, but do I agree with that? Yeah, like, when that's his thing. I agree with that right there. I don't agree with him as far as, like, you can't have interracial marriages and all that. I don't agree with that stuff. Like, if it's not sinful, I don't really, like, go at it. Said K-Stone says they want to bully Angel so bad. I mean, yeah, they would like to see that. They're a group of people that don't have any type of like, real morals, character, integrity, or anything like that. Like, for example, like, they don't see that, they don't even like view Caitlin Clark correctly. And that's their person that they root for. They don't even view her correctly when it comes to her game or her character. You know what I mean? Like, for example, and then they want to say it's not a rivalry. Bruh, what games do you see Caitlin Clark acting like an asshole like she did on the sideline? Every time Angel Reese get the ball, doing all this little extra shit and all that. What other game does she do that with? She only do that when they playing against Chicago Sky, and that's pretty much it. No, it is what it is, man. It's bad blood, and hey, I'm all for it. And that ain't even nothing that bothers me about Caitlin Clark. I like players that do that asshole shit, but don't tell me she's not an asshole. Like, don't act like she's just this, they're looking at the State Farm commercial, and she's sitting there, which was a good commercial, by the way. I was happy to see Caitlin do that. I like the commercial. It actually makes me laugh, or whatever, but don't act like it's just this little angel. No, she's an asshole, period. You know what I mean? You want to call it competitiveness or whatever? It's all good, man. So you're not calling folks snow bunnies? Yeah, that's Dr. Umar's thing. I ain't Dr. Umar. So Wody Mac says, in all platforms, we were watching the Valks and Thornton was smoking layups. Timmy and Carly airball. Yeah. I see layups. I see missed layups all throughout the W, all the time. It's just, I mean, you see players like Hamby. Like, they could have won the game last night if Hamby ain't missed ridiculous stuff right there. There literally was no defense right there. She missed it. You know what I mean? The truth of the matter is, men and women are different. Like, men are taller to the basket, stuff like that. We have certain advantages of testosterone and muscle, mass and stuff like that changes things. Like, I don't know what they're comparing it to. But the truth is, which is your overall point, Angel Reese is far from the only player missing. And for real, she's still almost averaging a double-double. All she got to do is have one game with like 15 damn points, and she's averaging 10 and 12, right? Which you still have very few players doing that. But the problem is, because the whole team overall is a disappointment and the record is bad, it gives these little clowns an opportunity to just try to, shit on her. That's all that's happening right now. And it's all cool. I'm not feeding into it because I understand how the basketball season works. Listen, Chicago just might be trash whole year. But at the same time, it's still too early to go throwing in all these towels and all of that kind of stuff. I get it. Not having faith in the coach, not having faith in the players. But look, man, it's a marathon still. And I get it. Personally, I know that I have a level of patience that is uncommon. I know that I do. I know this about myself. I went through the same thing with the Philadelphia Eagles last year. When we were 2-2 after that loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Everybody was talking real crazy, real reckless all over the place about the Eagles ain't shit. They ain't going to do nothing. And I ain't saying Chicago's the Eagles. Nobody's the Eagles, okay? Let's make it clear. The Philadelphia Eagles are the greatest franchise in the world. Nobody's the Eagles. But what I'm saying is, it's a marathon. It's a marathon. And really, right now, you got to be realistic with your expectations and start looking for little improvements. If you really about the Chicago Sky's improvement, it's going to be about, all right, watching these players get better and develop. Now, Tyler Marsh, what I want to see him do is put some of the right players in there, man. He said, Umar is our righteous king. So we're going to keep talking about Dr. Umar. Listen, man, I got personal things with him. Like, I know some personal stuff about him, so but I ain't going to air none of that out, man. I ain't going to air none of that out. You know what I'm saying? Say East Baltimore in the building. Salute Dexter Fuqua. Salute, bro. Salute, bro. Agent of Chicago, you retracted the message. What happened, man? Was you talking crazy? Miss Goody Two Shoes. How you doing, Miss Goody Two Shoes? Said this time is so strange in the WNBA. Paige and Angel have the same type of coach. Candace Parker downplaying the rivalry. So weird. Oh man, Candace Parker. That's what I want. I'm glad you brought that up. That's really what I wanted to start this off about. talking about Candace Parker. All right, so yeah, Paige and Angel, that is true. I never really thought about that, but yeah, you're right. They're two docile guys. Now, what I will say about Paige's coach, I think he has more of a focus on defense than Tyler Marsh, and that's kind of surprising me. I think Dallas, I think they fight a little more than Chicago does, and it could be because they have certain players like Dejanay. Dejanay gonna fight to the last drop. That's what she's gonna do. That's her mentality. Similar to Angel Reese. That's why Dejanay is the player I wanted for Chicago. I really did, because of that grittiness and so on, right? But you might be right. They have a similar type of coach. Their rotations are like ridiculous. They don't match up well. They don't make sure that their rotations are matching the opponent. Like Tyler Marsh, he just runs what he runs. He don't give a damn. When it hits the 6-minute mark, you five are coming out, you five are coming in. I don't give a damn what the opponent is doing. I don't care who they got. They can have all their starters in there. I'm going to take all mine out, or I'm going to take 3 of mine out. Like, he does stuff that, like, if you just playing 2K, you would know ain't wrong. You could be a 2K player, and you know that that's stupid. You ain't got to be no dude who played and all of that kind of stuff. All right? Now, regarding, and that's ridiculous. So, on that, you might be right. You probably are. You usually are right a lot, Miss Goody Two. I give you that. With Candace. All right, now what I did with Candace Parker is last night my reaction and my comments were based on just the clip that Showtime, and shout out to Showtime on point. Him, HD, Welcome to HD appeared on, and the Sister Key, right? That I just reacted to just that clip. What I did this morning was I watched the whole entire interview, and it was an interview with Jemele Hill, okay? And what I'll say about it, I thought it was a very good interview in total, overall. Especially because I love hearing about when players came into the league and their rivalries. I love when she was talking about Lane Beer and Michael Cooper and all that's just near dear to me, that whole era and all of that, right? So I love the interview. Now when it got to the point where she was asking about Angel and Caitlyn and so on, Jemele Hill was trying to lead it in a certain way. And actually, when I really listened to Candace, I really didn't have a problem with what she said for the most part. But I do have a few things to say about it. But I didn't really have a problem with it. I believe that was kind of her honest opinion about it. The only thing I disagree with her, about is in mentioning Caitlin Clark along with, because the first question was about, just in general, the physicality in the league and this being so-called targeted stuff. Even though Jemele Hill wasn't saying Caitlin Clark was really being targeted, she was mentioning that that's the claim from her fan base, that she's being targeted, right? So the only thing I disagree with was Candace Parker mentioning Caitlin Clark with her, Maya Moore. I think she might have said Lisa Leslie, and she mentioned a couple other players. But she did mention Diana Taurasi, right? So I guess if you throw Taurasi in there, it can kind of make sense, right? No, I'm not talking about this skin color here. I'm talking about what constitutes a generational talent to me, right? So I guess I got to break that down so that you understand why I'm disagreeing with that. Because I would consider Breanna Stewart a generational talent, without a doubt. I think Breanna Stewart's don't come along very well at all. She's white as snow. She's white as Nicole Kidman, all right? But she is a generational talent. Why? She's 6'4", 6'5", with a 7'1" fucking wingspan, with ability to dribble the damn ball, with an ability to shoot that's unkindly. She looks like Kevin Durant when she's playing, to me. He has gives the defense similar problems to Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant, without a doubt, is a generational talent, because you ain't supposed to be that tall with those skills, right? When I talk about generational talent, that's what I'm talking about. Now, if you're going to be just 6 feet in your generational talent, I'm looking at Maya Moore. Why? Maya Moore is faster than everybody that she's going up against. She's stronger than a person her size should be. She got every part of the game you could imagine on offense. If Maya Moore wants to get to the rim, she can get to the rim and she can like lay it up over taller people, right? Maya Moore ain't never had a problem with you being physical. I'm gonna work through this contact, whatever, bitch, I'm Maya, right? Maya Moore could just stop and pop on a dime anywhere on that court. You know, she's going full speed forward. Can just hit you with a dribble. Boom, boom, boom. Bam. Right? She's unusual. She can glide through the air and just have a layup package that is different. Okay? And for being 6 feet, I'm saying if you're 6 feet, you need to have something like that about you, that where I can take you. I'll put you on any court, anywhere, in any era, against any people, and you stand out like, yo, that motherfucker different. That's a generational talent to me. The classic generational talent. Wilt Chamberlain, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. They're just different. Period. Okay? That's where the only thing I disagree. Now, if what she means is like Caitlin Clark is generational in terms of, all right, this attraction that has come to the league, that is bringing all these people, that is bringing all these eyes, that is bringing all this potential money, and all, then yeah, I agree. But if you talk about her, what she provides on the court, what is it? A different style of play? Does that make you generational? Now, I guess if you point out her passing ability, maybe I'll give you that. Maybe I'll give you that. The passing ability, the court vision, maybe that's generational. But for me, I don't know that puts you, for me, with Maya and all of that. Now, can that change my mind? Yeah, if Caitlin Clark go out there and just win title after title and do all of that, then I'm going to say, okay, the way she plays is good enough, right? I just don't see it, especially when you're just like a turnstile on defense. You're turnstile. You know, one of them things when you go through the bus and it's that damn thing that does like this, you know, that you just keep going through. When you're that on defense, I just personally don't see it. And I would say that's the only thing I disagree with Candace, right? I see Caitlin Clark in the same vein of like a James Harden, right? Great player. I would never say James Harden wasn't great. This boy can ball his ass off. But he's not more athletic than everybody. He's not he's not bigger. He doesn't have a body that no one has. It's nothing like that. It's just, he worked really hard, which I respect. He has great court vision and all that, which I respect. Right? I just think she's in that vein. That's the only difference of opinion. James Harden is great, but he's not generational like Wilt Chamberlain or those guys, LeBron. That's all. That's pretty much the only thing I would disagree with. When she talked about Angel Reese, the clip that we saw last night on Showtimes had me thinking that it was a diss, but trying to be nice. But then when I kind of watched it again, I don't think so. I think she was just being honest, I think she was being honest. And that she believes that what Angel Reese needs, whether it's Tyler Marsh or someone, is a developmental coach. And I mean, anybody that's going to be honest, of course. But I think everybody needs a developmental coach, somewhere on the staff. Caitlin Clark's game is not perfect, right? And what, the clip that we saw last night didn't show was where she did mention the things Caitlin Clark needs to work on. She mentioned 2 things. I would add a third. The first was that she needs to, cut down the turnovers, obviously. And then the other thing Candace mentioned was that she needs to improve on things that she does without the ball. And I'm like, hallelujah, right? You have to be a better off-the-ball player. Candace did mention that. So I'll give her credit. The third thing I would ask, of course, is defense, which this whole generation seems to be overlooking defense, right? I'm getting these dumbass people coming into my comment section saying, "Oh, you would start a franchise with a player with no offense." Like, yeah, you're the same idiot that would say Gilbert Arenas is better than Ben Wallace. You probably would say some stupid shit like that. You know what I mean? Where Ben Wallace got championships, he appears in finals, and Gilbert Arenas just, all right, the most he can say is I scored 60 on Kobe before, right? That's what we're talking about, right? You probably think that James Harden is better than let me see. I ain't gonna say Dennis Rodman and all that. A lot of people probably believe that kind of thing. I don't, but a lot of people believe that. I can't convince you because you don't see the game the way I do. But you would think you don't see the value in Ben Wallace. You think you would start with just a scoring machine guy who don't play no defense. A lot of you are like that. You probably think Steve Nash is, better than somebody like him. You probably think Steve Nash better than Sprewell, Latrell Sprewell. A lot of you probably think stuff like that, And I get it. I'm not even trying to say you wrong or you got to look at basketball the way I do. But anyway, let me get back to what some of y'all are saying. All right, the Clark cult will blame Angel for everything. Well, yeah, and half of that stuff you can't even take serious. Why do you think Marsh plays nurse so much? Woo, man. I don't know. I've been thinking this type of stuff a lot. I'll put it this way. I think Tyler Marsh wants an offensive system that is predicated on the three-point shot. That's what I think he wants, right? So he keeps players that he views as great three-point shooters out there. And I think Kia Nurse is one of those players. I think Rachel Banham is one of those players. I think on the team right now, I think it's mostly Nurse and Banham, right? And I think he thought Sloot was probably as well, but Sloot, while she got minutes, is probably a little something different. I think it was a predetermined agreement between them and Jeff P and all of that kind of stuff when after I really think about it. But I think he believes Nurse is like the floor spacer. I also think, and this is something I shout out to the brother Brew Claude. He actually, said this, and it makes sense to me. I think Tyler Marsh is falling in line with traditional conventional WNBA unwritten stuff that they gotta kind of work past, and part of that is seniority. So rookies, they gotta wait and learn, whereas like vets, we give them the deference. They play first, so on. I think also Chicago Sky as an organization is in a bad spot, and part of what comes to that, and this is from the mouth of Chicago Sky fans who've been following the team way longer than me. They go back to back in the day, Chicago Sky and stuff like that, right? And a lot of them are saying, and I think it's smart to listen to them, a lot of them is saying that the Chicago Sky organization, especially the old guard, just have a bad reputation, and that it's difficult for them to get great players to come and play there, or even media or even mid to great players who have a choice to go somewhere else to come, right? So what they got to probably do is with players like Kia Nurse and players like Vandersloot and players like Allen maybe and so on, they got to make them certain promises that they can't get somewhere else. Like Kia Nurse couldn't be a starter probably anywhere else in the league. So what you offer her that others can't offer is a starting role, right? It's similar to like an actor or an actress who, like I remember one time Nia Long, right, who's a pretty, I wouldn't say she's A-list, but she's, known, and she can be an actors in games and stuff like that. So like in a blockbuster movie, it's unlikely that Nia Long would be get a starting role or even a supporting actress role, right? But in a low budget film, like one time the movie that it was put out by he's a low budget director. It was a movie called Muslims, right? Whatever. So Nia Long accepted that role because of the fact that it was a supporting actress. Like it was like next to you had the main character, and then she would be the next, right? So she just wanted that, even though it was less money. You know what I mean? And I think it's similar to like that with Chicago. It's like, okay, I can offer you a starting role, you know, on this losing ass team. It's better you know, going to the Aces or another team that's better where you won't get any minutes. And I think that's kind of what's happening with Nurse. But I don't know. That's my guess. He said, K-Stone said, yeah, I remember that cell in the bottom of the Lincoln. Y'all was cutting up in Philly. The cell, there was no cell in Lincoln Financial Field. The cell was in Veterans Stadium back in the day. Yeah, them days were funny. Fury's friend said, someone pee on your hat. Yeah, somebody peed on your mom too. Say K-Stone says, that's because of the players he has. They are defense oriented except for Enrique. You think so? I don't know about Maddie. Is she defense oriented? The bigs, I can't tell. Hines Allen and them, I can't really tell. Are they? I mean, we know Dejan is defense oriented. But the reason I say it too was Coughlin's, I believe his name is, for Dallas. That's his history, right? That's kind of like I did some research on his, you know, his credentials, and that's his side of the floor that he supposedly specializes in, is defense, you know. And that was one of the reasons they really wanted Dejan, because they wanted to bring defense to the team. That was really the main motivation behind me saying that. Mike, I think the name is there, says, what do you think about Paige being labeled the third best rookie behind Kiki and Sonya by media and b-ball fans? I think they're saying that because Paige Beckers has been out with a concussion, right? There's recency bias all the time. People react to the last thing they saw, okay? Now, Kiki is phenomenal, though. I do love Kiki and Sonya, but Sonya Citron is not better than no damn Paige Beckers. Like, you're out of your mind if you watch them. Whereas with Kiki and Paige, it's harder to compare them because you still run into that whole thing of like the forward, the big versus the small. It's difficult. It's like, what do you value the most? Is Paige as good a big as Kiki? Is Paige as good a guard as Kiki is a big? Absolutely, right? But I get the Kiki thing. But last I checked, Paige was leading the rookies in damn near every category by average. So I don't know why they would say she's the third best. I don't believe that at all. I think Paige by far, or I ain't gonna say about Paige is definitely the best rookie. You know, without a doubt, to me, just watching their games. But Kiki is phenomenal. Said Tyler Marshmallow keeps the bench into start every third quarter. Oh man, don't even get me started on Tyler, man. Please. I can sit here for hours to talk about that dude. Jay Capone, the Don says, what up, brother Fruitland? Respect and love the content. Same here, man. And much respect and appreciate the support. K Stone, to me, CP gave a very media trained answer about the CC and Angel issue, but her answer, knowingly or not, she downplayed Angel and uplifted CC to say she makes her team better. Yeah, I got a couple of issues with that, but it's like, you know, it's Candace Parker. I respect her. You know, she's going to always be an icon in basketball that I can never, you know, touch or whatever. But that does not mean that she's right on everything, okay? I watch Gilbert Arenas all the time. Them guys played and they say dumb shit every day, right? Shaq and Barkley say dumb shit every day, right? So I don't believe, I never adhere to this idea that just because you played, you know, everything you say is right, and people who didn't play, everything they say is nothing. Listen, I know right now, I don't know how many of y'all heard of Lionel Simmons, but he was a great player for LaSalle in Philly back in the late 80s, early 90s, right? He played for the Sacramento Kings. I could go talk to Lionel Simmons right now because he hangs out, I ain't gonna say where, but at a certain place in Philly. He be out there just, you know, doing his thing, chilling. He just an OG around here, Lionel Simmons. I could go talk to him right now about basketball, and we can have a conversation, have a back and forth. I have done it before, right? So I know everybody that played ain't always like they'll always know certain shit you'll never know because of the experiential knowledge that comes with that. But there's different aspects of the knowledge of the game. There's the history of the game. There's the rules of the game. There's like the plays of the game. There's the locker room stuff. Like they'll know certain things you'll never know. But like I've explained things to these guys like him that he was like, damn, okay, he ain't know, because I might have had a conversation with Sonny Hill who knew something he ain't know. It's like that. I don't get all caught up in all of that, because some people came in here. Well, Candace Parker said it. Like, who are you to disagree with Candace Parker? Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. I know people who played in the league. I can go, you know. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know if Candace Parker's answer was media train. I really thought she was honest, and she might honestly believe Caitlyn is better than Angel Reese, and to me that's okay. That's okay. Like, I don't have a problem with that. You know, some people. But what I don't like is this. What I don't like is this overemphasis on one side of the ball, to this, like, defensive players, and this is just a bias against defensive players, and it's that they're not as valuable as offensive players. Like, you can find, it's defense is just an effort thing. It's not real talent. It's just an effort thing, which is BS. To anybody who's done anything on the court, that's BS, right? Both require some type of effort as far as getting better at it, you know. But that's where that comes from. Really, it's the idea that offensive players are more valuable than defensive players. You know, when, I saw that in 2001, I saw the Philadelphia 76ers get all the way to the finals, right? They went through teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, who had Glenn Robinson, Sam Cassell, Ray Allen, you know, and other players, man, that could light it up. They went through the Indiana Pacers, who had Reggie Miller, like Richmond, they had Jermaine O'Neal, they had Travis Best, they had all types of offensive players. I've seen many instances where defensive players beat the hell out of offensive teams. I remember that 76ers squad, right, led by Iverson, used to wipe the floor with the Sacramento Kings. And this is when the Sacramento Kings had Jason Williams, White Chocolate. They had Stojakovic and Turkoglu came at a certain point. They had Chris Webber. They had, like, they were a bomb squad. Bobby Jackson coming off the bench, a bomb squad. And I saw just these defenders just shut them down and whip their ass by double digits. So you're not going to convince me that, like, one is necessarily more valuable than the other. It's just like with fighting, boxing, right? What makes Floyd Mayweather the best in many people's eyes, he's not the best in my eyes, all greatest of all time, but what makes him believe that, it's his defense. It's not necessarily his offense, it's his defense. You see what I mean? Like, both aspects are important in sports. And it's just a bias. Woody Mac says, Woody, what's going on? Let's be fair. Now, 3 players I have heard give CC praise. Dawn did, Candace did, Chiney did. Whether we like it or not, they I praise CC. But I'm honest. Like, I never said she's not a great player. I just never said that. But I don't believe the way she plays wins championships. That's what I say. That's what people don't like. But I didn't say she can't play. She can't hoop. It's obvious she can hoop, right? And then, but you got to also understand, like, Dawn and them, they're not going to say, when did you ever hear Dawn or any of them say anything bad about any player? That's their job, or part of what they feel like their responsibility is to promote the game. Caitlin Clark is a player right now. They're not going to not promote the game. And promoting the game is promoting the players. They're not going to sit up there and talk like me. That's never going to happen. Even if they agree with anything that I'm saying. Right? They're never going to do that. Miss Goody Two Shoes, or you're talking to K-Stone, says that's my issue. She makes her team better. If he really, oh yeah, I did want to talk about that. People have their different opinions on what makes a team better to me. You know, what makes players, you know, making other, like, every great player makes the team better, because if you take the great player off, the team is worse. So I don't really know what Candace Parker means. If what she means by that is she generates assists to the players, the only way I'm going to agree with that is if the team as overall assists end up being more than the opponents. Okay? Like this is something I've debated many people. And I debated motherfuckers like Hakeem Warwick and people like like Sean Tyndale, who played for Temple. Real basketball people, right? We discussed these things. Like when I get a chance to see them at the Rucker games, and I see them, not Rucker, the Rump Classics that happen in Philly every year. Like I'm that dude. You walk up to him. My brother is known in the city. Like I ain't gotta get into it, like how I get to talk to some of these players, but when I do, discuss these types of things. Okay, what's more important, right? That you have a player on your team that is averaging 10 assists, leading the league in would you rather have a team with one player, right, that's leading the league in assists? Or would you rather, as a team, lead the whole league in assists? What do you think is a better team? Because I'm going to tell you, the teams that typically win, especially dynastic teams, they are leading the league, or they're at least top 3 to top 5 in team assists. Meaning as a team, we're averaging 28 assists, 25 assists, 24 assists, 30 assists, right? Versus a team that well, I got one player that's just the shit, getting all these assists, boom, 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 boom. But as a team, there's no assists, right? You're like middle of the pack in the league, or you're at the bottom. Which one is better and more valuable, right? So I don't know that a player that's leading the league in assists makes a team better. I don't know that to be true. I think everybody has to play a part in making a team better. Everybody has to do their job. And that's not with just scoring or just scoring when you pass me the ball, but it's about passing when I should pass, scoring when I should score, D'ing up, making my free throws. All of these things are important, right? So while I'm not necessarily, I think it's a funny conversation that this Ari McDonald is making them look better than with Caitlin Clark. I'm not feeding into it because I know it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Do I think they're better defensively with her? Yeah, I do. But offensively, no, it's hard to see because Caitlin Clark's got the pizzazzy thing going on, with the passes and all of that. But what I am going to look into is what are the team assists as a game with Ari McDonald versus with Caitlin Clark, because then that'll tell me, because team assists is a big indication of how good an offense is. That's showing how well all 5 are working together. It's very important. Minnesota Lynx, you got to understand, last year were leading the league in assists, but their top assist person might have 6 a game. Okay? If you look at the Chicago Bulls, okay, of the 1990s, and don't give me 1990s ball difference. Ain't no fucking difference. It really ain't. Let's get the ball in the hoop. Either we're going to go fast, we're going to go slow, but basketball is basketball when it comes to certain things. And team assist is one of the things, okay? The Chicago Bulls, as a team, were always top 5 in the league in team assists, okay? But the top assist getter on the team might be Scottie Pippen, might be Ron Harper. Them guys might average 5. They might average 6 assists, but you'll have 4 guys that average 5 or 6 assists apiece versus a team, where one guy is getting 12 damn assists and everybody else getting 1 or 2. Who's the better team on offense? Right? That's the question. So, does her hogging the ball, getting all the assists make the team better? I don't know. That's going to be proven on the court. I just don't like this idea because a lot of people were saying that about with LeBron James. And this is not to attack LeBron, but these are facts. Do you know that LeBron James, prior to, I think the bubble championship, and even around the bubble championship, this is the last time I looked at this, was only on a team. One time, he was only on one team that was top 5 in team assists, and that was the 2013 Miami Heat. Prior to that, his teams are always like kind of bottom of the barrel or middle of the road when it came to team assists. Though he himself, he double master. He getting all these rebounds, he getting all these points. He leading the damn team in assists, rebounds, all of this kind of stuff, right? And I told people these are the things that contributed more so to him losing to Golden State than it was Golden State had this so better team and all of that. No, it's the way the Cleveland Cavaliers played. That's the reason, and that's kind of my take on that. I don't believe passing the ball to people necessarily makes them better. I just don't understand that. And I've asked people like real basketball guys to explain this to me, and nobody's explained this to me sufficiently to me. I don't get it, because like if Caitlin Clark passes the ball to Aaliyah Boston, right? And Aaliyah Boston scores. They say Caitlin made Aaliyah Boston better by giving her the ball in her spot. But didn't Aaliyah Boston also make Caitlin Clark better by helping her get an assist? That's part of her stats? If that's all we doing? Or am I tripping? Right? Like, they got to make her better while she's making them better. Because they're making her assist numbers up. Because all we're judging better on and worse on is the numbers. Right? Jay says it's only been 1 year for CC. The ceiling she has is why they say she's generational talent. Okay. That's fair. K-Stone said, if I never hear the praise generational talent, I would be so happy. Dexter Fuqua, Caitlin Clark overrated. Yeah, she is. Only because they say she's the 4th best player in the league. They're saying she's better than players like Kelsey Plum. Just watch Kelsey Plum play. Come on, man. Stop it. She's not as good as Kelsey Plum. Cut it out. Like, just stuff like that. I mean, into it. And then she's better than all these players that play defense. Like, come on, man. Of course she's overrated. But if it's like the brother said, they believe her ceiling is higher, so they're saying that, okay, well, say her ceiling is higher. Don't say she's better than them now. Say when she reaches the ceiling, I believe she'll be better than them. Just say that. And that's more of a belief thing, which I don't have a problem with. But when you're making a declaration, she's better than all these players right now, that's when I have a problem. Jay says, and as for Reese, I'm tired of hearing about her as a talent. We have seen more than enough from her play. I mean, you can hear enough or not hear enough, whatever you want. Who cares what you're tired of hearing? People who believe she's talented are going to say that she's talented, right? Some of us look at defense as well as offense. Some people can recognize like the IQ that she has. Other people can't, right? And you want to quote Candace and all of that. All right, what did Kim Mulkey say about Reese? You respect Kim Mulkey's opinion? Like what did Shaq say? You respect Shaq's opinion? Like anybody can quote somebody who says someone is a talent, right? That's not only for Clark. There's people who said it for Angel as well. So that's your standard. I mean, K-Stone says, I think CC is a great player, but it bothers me that everyone has to go out of their way to lift her up. It's weird. It feels forced. If you truly his greatest player, yeah, exactly. Exactly, K-Stone, exactly. Lou Rogers says, hope you're doing well today. Oh, yeah, we good. We good, Lou. Voting back on all platforms says, Gilbert and Ben, that's a hard comp. Could you make that comp positional with different players? Say Chauncey or James Harden. Gilbert and Ben, that's a hard comp. Why is that a hard comp? Right? Gilbert Arenas is a great offensive player. Ben Wallace is a great defensive player. What do you mean, Chauncey or James Harden? There's a lot of people that would say, Gilbert Arenas is better than Ben Wallace. A lot of people would say that. And I believe Gilbert would have been a hell of a player. Would have put up numbers similar to James Harden's. had his career not been cut short. They said Dexter Fuqua's Caitlin Clark is more like Jeremy Lin than Curry. Yeah, the Curry thing I don't get. It's James Harden. That's what she plays. Does not play like Steph Curry. Like don't get she has to improve her off the ball play to be more like Steph Curry. She's not good enough off the ball. This is just anybody who knows basketball can see that. Like she's like James Harden. She has to have the ball to be effective. Her shot is a step back three. That's James Harden. Like I don't get it, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. It's just that Curry has 4 rings, so y'all don't want to say Harden. But the game is more like Harden's. No defense. It's Harden. Like there was a time when James Harden was like the greatest show on earth for a minute. Y'all remember that when he was in Houston and he had 30, he was averaging 36 a night. Then he had another season he averaged 34 a night. Then Harden came out there averaged like 30. Like he was the man for a minute. There was nobody better to watch. You had LeBron James complaining about the rough calls that Harden was getting. He was the man until it never turned into anything. It never like manifested into any rings or any winning. And then people gave up on that shit because they eventually saw what I was saying. Like I really wish I had a channel at that time. Y'all would have heard me saying the same things about Harden that I'm saying about Caitlin Clark. I promise you. Because I can see through the facade. Felicia Daniels says, think about it. If he starts Rebecca, then he won't have anyone off the bench being a firecracker. That's true. We will literally have no great off the bench. So I say start Nurse if he wants to play Allen more. I guess. As long as Allen, I don't really care who starts, as long as Allen ends up with more minutes than Nurse, if she's playing better. Now, if Nurse is catching fire, then you make adjustments. Woody Mag on all platforms, the Dexter Fu squad, they lost to the Sun without CC. I don't think anybody thinks in any sense they will win if the team could beat the Sun with them. Come on, Woody. You know, I think the Sun was like the first or second game they played, though. Right? It probably took the Fever a couple of games to get it going, you know, to be able to play with a different point guard. And I don't think they had McDonald against the Sun. I don't think they had McDonald against the Sun, but I do get you refuting Dexter. Dexter is a little extreme. He's a bit extreme. Like Caitlin Clark doesn't suck. She doesn't stink, but I get wanting to come at her with that energy because of their fans. I do understand that energy. So that's why I ain't really like refuting it. Right? There's so much of the Angel sucks out there. I don't mind if people put the Caitlyn sucks out there because who cares, right? It's war. Dexter says, Caitlin Clark, the GOAT, right? Get it done, no excuses. I agree with that, yeah. You're a top 4 player. Now you up there with Asia, you up there with Fee, you up there with them. That's what I want to see. I want to see those type of results. Even though Fee hasn't won anything either yet, but, you know. Bernie, good morning, Brother Flag. Good morning. Here comes Jack. This dude is funny. Folks still disrespecting Jalen Hurts need to stop. I agree. Defense is definitely important. Yep. Philly running 2001 was crazy. Yep. The defense and IQ. Yep. I agree with all of that. Said Woody Max. I stopped reading after you said Liberty. Y'all funny, man. Felicia Daniels, always has good comments, says, Angel makes a difference and makes her team better, even in losses. We talked about it last year. Whenever she sat down, the defense struggles last year. Yeah, that's her value. That's her value. And even the numbers pointed that out, her impact on the game. I mean, people don't care about that. I don't care about their opinion. It doesn't matter. The truth will come out eventually. Indiana led WNBA in assists last year. Bullshit. What he did, you're a lie. That's a lie. Okay? Don't come in here lying. Indiana led the WNBA in assists last year. Who you think you're talking to, bro? Bernard Young. Who you think you're talking to? Think you talking to Boo Boo the Fool right here? I do all my stats. I do all my research. They weren't even top 5 in assists last year. Come on, man. Stop it. Don't come in here lying, bro. Uh, Carrie Bass says, yes, they have better players. She doesn't hog the ball. Listening to you, I can't tell she's a great player. What do you mean she doesn't hog the ball? Yes, she does hog the ball. Caitlin Clark has the highest usage rate in the history of a rookie in the league. Like, what are we talking about, Carrie? Like, she does. She makes her team better, period. Okay. I mean, you know. But what I'm saying is, so does Angel Reese. They both made their team better. Right? But if it's just because of assisting, then I'm not convinced of that argument. Okay? I'm not. It has to manifest itself in wins. The winning teams are the ones I see with high team assists. Mitchell and Boston have been looking nowhere near as good as without Clark, to be fair. I don't know that Mitchell's been looking good at all this year. You know, Boston, I will have to research that. Let's see. You might be right about that. But that's really no surprise at the same time because of the fact that, like, Caitlin Clark is a very important part of the team. You take her off, you have to change the whole strategy. So that's not a surprise, right? The team now has to readjust the way they play. You know, it wouldn't matter who the player is, you know, but, I mean, you could be right about that. Yeah, she is not. Y'all some haters, man. You come with better than that, haters. He's a hater. Yeah, not here. Like, don't argue like a sixth grader, please. Felicia Daniels, she's a good point guard. So is Ari. Point is any good point guard can make their team better. Sid couldn't get them flowing, but Ari could. Logo threes are what folks are infatuated with. Any good point guard can carry a team. CZ good, she's just not the best player in the NBA. Yeah, exactly. Definitely not the best. Showtime on points. What's up, brother? He says, if she's so trash, why do y'all care so much about Angel? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You look how this dude stepped right into the defend Reese. Just another bum Reese defender. Y'all be easy. I'm trying to figure out why you hear nostalgia. You know what I mean? And if I feel like defending Reese, I'll defend her. Hey, what you gonna do something about it? Come on, man. But what I do is I come to explain. Like, this is what I don't like, right? Like, if you want to criticize Angel Reese's game, that's fine. Just be accurate in your criticism. Don't say dumb shit like she can't make a layup, right? I'm gonna help you out how you critique it. Like, if you said this, how I would understand. Say something like, Angel Reese right now has to adjust to WNBA defense in the post. Because right now her layup package is too simple, it's too low, and it's easy to get blocked. Right? If you said something like that, I'll be like, you're right. You get no argument from me. But Angel Reese can't make a layup. Like, that's what makes me talk to you like you're a retard. Because that's dumb. It's a dumb statement to make. Right? Can't make a layup. What are you talking about? My 5-year-old can make a layup. So, like, there's a difference between being a critic and being a troll. Right? Nobody respects trolls. And then, you know, the other thing I can't respect is this other boy. Man, boy, you lucky I can't remember your name. But you always coming in leaving passive-aggressive comments. Like a broad. Passive-aggressive comments. Like, he come in, right? And he'll leave the emoji like this. And not say nothing. Right? Then he came in today talking about, y'all funny as hell. And then left. Like, you should see the comment I left. Like, bro, one thing I can't stand is a passive-aggressive nigga. Like, you got something to say it with your chest, bro. Say it with your chest, man. And if you're not able to articulate, then, man, get your ass up out of here. Nobody got time for that. We grown men, man. You know what I mean? Like, I get that up out of my sons. Don't be passive-aggressive. Like, don't nobody respect that in the world. Not in the world of men. You know what I mean? I don't know what type of relationship you had with your sisters, man, but maybe that's what y'all was on. Matter of fact, a lot of women ain't passive-aggressive. They was up with this the age of the passive-aggressive man. Yeah, man, you know, beta ass up out of here, man. Shelly says CC is best player in the league, but they're calling Reese fans delusional. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Felicia Daniels. Angel is the only player that had to completely change style of play. Of course, it's going to take a minute to get used to it. It hasn't even been a month. Change CC to 4 or 5, she would struggle. Yeah, exactly. Carrie Bass says she must be a horrible player. The way you talk about her, she plays defense though. Who plays defense? See, that's what I'm saying. Carrie Bass. Did you see the game against the Dream? Did you see Pow Pow just drive by fucking Caitlin Clark every single time? Do you see your consecutive coaches take Caitlin Clark out the game when the game is on the line? Do you watch her feet when she's playing? Do you watch her hands, or are you too busy watching Angel Reese playing under the post? Do you watch? Like, what do you mean she plays defense? What are you talking about? Everybody technically is out there playing defense, but she sucks at it. Like, you gotta at least be honest. Like, you want me to be honest about, okay, Angel Reese, doesn't have a good leg up package. I need you to, which Caitlin Clark don't have either, by the way, but I need you to be honest about her defense. Say they come in and talking about she played defense. Come in here lying, man. Oh, Carrie Bass. Yes, she does. Hell, she be having more blocks than more blocks. Blocks. That's what you think defense is? All right. Let me help you out, right? Don't look at that, right? You know why you don't look at that? Because there are about approximately, I think, 70 to 100 possessions per basketball game. Like, your team. Like, you're defending the opponent maybe 70 possessions, right? And let's say the person you're responsible for guarding, especially if you're Caitlin Clark, going to have 15 to 20 possessions. Well, actually, for Caitlin Clark, you know what? And I'm going to give you another reason why her defensive rating is a little higher. I'm going to give you a couple reasons, so we're going to be done with this dumb shit, right? So, let's say, generously, that the person Caitlin Clark is guarding has the ball 20 times, takes 20 shots, okay? Caitlin Clark will get one. You saying she got one block in that game, and maybe one steal, that she playing defense out of 20 damn possessions? Is this what you're trying to present as your argument that she plays defense? That's what you're trying to present. Stop looking at that stat. When you go to WNBA.com, right, what I want you to do is go to defensive stats, okay? So you probably don't know how to navigate this shit. Go to defensive stats, right? And it will give you, there's a portion there where they will give you the percentages, the opponent's percentages against the player. And it'll show you. It'll break it down real nice for you. From 3 to 5 feet from the basket, your player's percentages against the opponent. From 5 to 11, from 11 to about like 15, and then beyond the arc. It'll give you all of those percentages. Caitlin Clark, okay, at every level, okay, this was last season, because this year, those percentages are not quite out yet. It'll be around the 10th game, you'll start getting that, right? At every level, the opponent who's playing against her was averaging over 45% at every level, okay? With the exception of the 3, because, nobody makes over 40% from 3. Okay, at every level, that's what they were doing. By contrast, when you look at Angel Reese's numbers, nobody was over 40% at any level, with the exception of right under the basket, which she does have to improve. Okay? Right under the basket, 3 to 8. She has to improve there. But everywhere else, they were all under 40%. These are real percentages. That's how you judge defense. The other thing you got to do, because I had a couple Clark fans try to be slick coming here talking about, well, Caitlin Clark's defensive rating has been is better this year. It's kind of up there. Why would you be surprised when Stephanie White, every time the Fever is playing an opponent, Caitlin Clark is being hidden. what Stephanie White does is she looks at who is the least threatening player on the opponent's team, and she puts Caitlin Clark on that team, on that person. That's why when they play the Atlanta Dream, Caitlin Clark is never on Ryan Howard. Caitlin Clark is never on Alicia Gray. What she does was she looked at Pow Pow and figured, okay, this is my best shot. I'm gonna put her on Pow Pow, right? To find out that she couldn't even stick Pow Pow, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna help you out a little bit. She cannot play defense, but we're not gonna play these games, right? She's also taken out during important times and different things like that, right? This is called hiding the player. So if you're always sticking the worst player, the most non-threatening player, they're looking for a player that's just sitting there, that's just going to catch and shoot. And Stephanie White is giving Caitlin Clark that assignment. If that's all you're doing, then you better have a high defensive rating. You ain't sticking no fucking body. Like, this is what I need you to understand, right? Right? Like, I look into all this stuff. Like, these are the things you got to consider when you're really making a judgment. Don't just look at it as stat sheet and all of that. Whereas Angel Reese, if we playing against Seattle, we're playing against New York, Angel Reese's job is going to be to stick Nneka Ogwumike, who's a beast. To stick Brown and Stewart, who's a beast. To stick, like, if we playing against Atlanta, she's either going to be on Brittany Griner, who she's excellent at sticking, or she's going to be on Aaliyah Ball. She's on all beasts that she has to stick. Now, if you don't value that, then I don't know. To me, you don't know the game. That's all. That's all. Talking about she got more blocks than Angel Reese. Come on, man. Angel Reese keeping people under 40%. She had Angel Wilson playing up straight up against her. Was held to 28%. Derek Hamby, you know, come on, man. I don't even get me started. So CC and Luka both good players, but they don't. To me, I wouldn't even put it with Luka. Now they're similar when it comes to defense, but Luka can score from everywhere. And Luka knows how to play through contact. Luka's big. I don't compare Luka and CC. I get the no defense part. I get the scoring. I get the, points assists. But Luka is a 3-level scorer, right? I can't even do that. It's James Harden. I know black people don't like this to compare to James Harden because James is black. But no, you look at just their game, it's James Harden. So putting CC and defense together is diabolical. It's just lying. It's just lying. Right? You want to say she's a great player, that's fine. But don't lie. Right? Don't lie. There's no reason to. Some of us are watching. Carrie Bass, no, it's not just a way to bring her down. Silly. Bring her down. By telling the truth about her game, that's bringing her down. Okay, fine, then bring her down then. Like, where is she? She's so high up, 4th best player in the league. Yeah, you need to come down from that a little bit, because that's bull crap. Do you think Cooper Flagg will live up to the hype? Says Tiger. I don't know. I'm not good at like projecting. I think he'll be good. It's always difficult for me to do that. I never really. It depends on the situation he's in. You figure if he goes to Dallas, I don't know. I got to see the structure of the team. If he playing with Kyrie, he'll have a chance. Put it this way, he'll have every chance to live up to it. It's up to him. It's up to him, man. Do you think the WNBA will put CC in all defensive category? That would be league malpractice and should be investigated. So Jackson, people do hate on Reese for no reason. Yeah, they do hate, but it's for a reason. It's because LSU defeated Iowa. That's the reason. Bernard Young said that's not a lie. I googled that info. They did lead the league in assists. No, they did not. That's bullshit. Right? Jared Thomas says, good God, Clark fans are tweaking hard on here. Never seen her from them gloat so much. Israel Vadilla. Angel Wilson had more assists than Chelsea Gray, but Gray is the point guard. So what? You care about that shit? Jared Thomas. Jack, no, there's a reason. It's because she beat Clark in 2023 that year. Yeah. Of course, Boston looks a little better with CC. They had a year of chemistry. Ari McDonald played like 2 games. Exactly. Dennis PC Gaming. Shade Girl 85. Not explaining their stance. I'm going to Liberty versus Sky game. By popular belief, I don't hate her. Actually rooting for Sky tonight for Commissioner Cup. It's real, boy, this guy. Listen. The Sky's going to get their ass whooped by the Liberty. All right? It's just what it is. Too many trolls were idiots, mostly CC fans. They need to move on already. I don't mind trolls. I cook trolls for breakfast. Jack, it is, but all Clark fans aren't smart. Shelly, Angel had the audacity to celebrate her championship and talk shit, plus making a name for herself. That's the reason they're still mad to this day. Yep, these are facts. Bangs theory. At Bernard Young, Indiana Fever were 7th in assists last year. Minnesota were 1st. Thank you, Bangs theory. Thank you, lion-ass Bernard Young. Don't come in here lying. And I knew that. I just didn't have the stats in front of me because I tracked that. Part of my analysis of the game, part of my analysis of teams, I always look at team assists. Anyone who follows this channel, you know, that's the first stat I'm going to go to. Is rebounds as a team, assists as a team, and turnovers. That is the holy grail for me. That's the holy trinity, right? Anyone who followed Flat Speaks channel when it comes to breaking down games, you know my holy trinity is team assists, team rebounds, and turnovers. Okay? You win those 3 battles, typically you win the game. Typically. Israel Vadilla, anybody come with some bullshit. Did you see CC guard Howard with 50 seconds to go one-on-one with 1-point lead and she stopped her by shooting a 3? Couldn't pass her. She plays defense sometimes. I'm trying to think, should I even address that or let that go? You said she plays sometimes. Okay, I'll let that go. Since you qualified it with sometimes. Okay. Right, but typically when I grade a player, you are what you do consistently, right? You're not a great stealer of the ball because you get a steal every once in a while, right? You're not a great 3-point shooter because you shoot a 3 once in a while. Angel Reese has made 3-pointers before, right? Are you going to call her a great 3-point shooter? Of course not, right? Okay, so don't bring me one instance where CC stuck somebody, right? There was a time when, you know what? I remember a great play when she stuck Jewel Lloyd, right? There was this play, Jewel Lloyd tried to turn around, and CC got a block. Oh, my God, CC's a great defensive player. But I also remember the games where Jewel Lloyd lit her ass up for 33, 32, and then also 19 unanswered points with an eye that got poked out that nobody complains about her eye getting poked out by one of the Fever members, right? Hypocrite-ass bitches, right? So I remember that as well. Her defense is going to ultimately be what the stats, what the percentages say, and what she does consistently. It's not she made a play here and there. Like if Stephanie White can do it all over again and you can run a play up, I'm quite sure she's not going to put CC on Howard. That ain't what she's going to do. She probably was sitting there scared to death when that shit was happening. Like, oh shit, what's about to happen? Oh my God, we about to lose, right? That's the difference. Whereas if you had Lexi Hall on her, she would probably feel a little bit more comfortable. Like, okay, we got this. That's what I'm saying. Bernie DeMarble, Caitlin Clark fans. Caitlin Clark plays no defense and turns the ball over. How is she MVP? CC fans are delusional. Pete, you can't get viewers unless you talk about Caitlin Clark. I love when people say that. Actually, I get more views from my Angel Reese videos than I do from Caitlin Clark. Pete P yawn. Well, then get the fuck out of here, bitch. Ain't nobody asked you to come here. All right, Shelly. She plays defense sometimes. Yeah, right. That's hilarious, ain't it? So Aaron McDonald plays better defense and she's smaller than CC. Bernard Young, thank you, Bang. I should have. All right, Bernard Young. You know what? Because you gave Bang his credit, I respect that. I really do, Bernard Young. I actually respect that right there, because you gave him his credit. Israel Viloda, here comes some bullshit. Says something with turnovers. If CC have 70 possessions and have 5 turnovers, is much better than someone who have the ball 40 times and have 3 turnovers. So stop talking about her turnovers. That CC's the point guard. She has to do better with turning the ball over. It's just that simple, man. Stop with all that. She has to do better. Okay, she's not perfect. She has to improve. It's okay to say Caitlin Clark has to improve. There's nothing wrong with that, Israel. You don't have to like come up with all this stupid stuff about if somebody else doesn't have this and all of that. What are you doing? And if someone else has 40, gets the ball 40 times and they have 3 turnovers, they need to improve. Okay? Nobody's saying turnovers are always bad. Bad, always. You don't have to like act like turnovers aren't a big deal because you love Caitlin Clark. It's like, why do you have to do that? Judah, R.E. She plays defense all right for her opponents by turning it over at record pace. Says CC fans have low to no basketball IQ. They don't use they don't use IQ. All they want to do is just show love. You know, that's all. Judah R.E. Not just that, she had 4 blocks in one game that helped her defensive rating. Wait until 30 games, see what rating. You think she's going to get 4 every game? 4 blocks in a game. All right, Angel Reese had a couple of 3s in a game. Okay. All right, so she's a great 3-point shooter. Do you watch basketball in 2025? These coaches are too smart. It's no more hiding the player. They just set a pick and roll to CC, man, and now CC have to guard. Yeah, of course I understand the pick and roll concept. My man. All right, so once they do a switch and she has to guard, do you want a good player that can guard or not? Whether it's before a switch, after a switch, or whatever. But like, what's the point? What difference does it make? Right? You still have to do your job. I don't get what that point. I don't get the point you're trying to make there. He's right too. That's why she gets 6 to 7 rebounds, because she's not guarding anyone. You see it, Judah? You see it? Exactly. There's no rebounds in traffic. They're just, I'm just going to get the ball because I'm free. I'm playing free safety. Major Sports Network says, why are the Sky 2-9? Where do you see the Chicago go from here? Chicago's looking bad, man. It's looking bad. Where I see them go from here, I don't know. Hard to say, but I discussed it on another video. To really get into the Sky thing, I'd probably be here another hour, which I just don't have the energy. Yes, sir, Jack. Hold Agent Wilson to 28%. It is good, absolutely. Jared Thomas says, Philan, even Harden isn't the right comparison because Harden is a big dude too. I think Trae Young is the best. No, I don't agree with that. Caitlin Clark is 6 feet. She's bigger than many of the guards that she's facing. Trae Young is tiny. Caitlin Clark is not tiny. Like, I don't get that. Body size and play style. No. Trae Young is smaller than the average NBA player. Caitlin Clark is big for a point guard. She plays against Jordan Canada, who's smaller. She plays against the guard on Minnesota, who's smaller. There's so many players, guards, that are smaller than Caitlin Clark. I just don't agree with that. Eagles brother 92, what up? Found your channel looking for Food with content, speaking truth to what is going on. Had to leave ESPN alone, talking about the W. Also fly, Eagles fly. Yes, sir. Yeah, Eagles content gonna be coming real soon. I just don't go real heavy during training camp unless something like extraordinary happens. Like it just doesn't move me talking about like whether or not the Eagles gonna pick up Jair Alexander. Obviously, I hope we don't. I want to go with Keely Ringo. I want to see the Young Bucks get it in. Um, Outside of that, it looks like Jihad Campbell's gonna start because my man Kobe Dean won't be ready. What I do have coming up on the Philadelphia Eagles though is I'm gonna do a show where I give my all time team because I saw some young boys give an all time team for the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Where they picked it was the all time defense and them dudes, man, they had that shit all fucked up, man. Like they had Reggie White as defensive end, right? Is your left end, right? Is your left end, which is correct. The right defensive end they had was number 58, man. That we had not that long ago. Whew. His name he was so nobody, right? Whereas the best right end for the Philadelphia Eagles is Big Daddy Carl Hairston, right? But a lot of these guys don't know the 1980 Eagles team. Right? You ain't even got to live through it. You could just go back and research that team, man. There's many players from that team that should be on the all-time Eagles game, the all-time Eagles team. Youngblood. Also, the great Herm Edwards, man, who's known more so as a coach. But what a lot of people don't know is that Herm Edwards, like, he had a rookie year better than Quinyon Mitchell's. Herm Edwards had 7 interceptions as a rookie. Then he followed it up with 6 interceptions the next year, right? A lot of people sleep on Dick Vermeil and Dick Vermeil's teams, which I'm going to get into. And they also put Chuck Badnary as the best middle linebacker. Come on, man. Our best middle linebacker was Bill Berge, right? Which I'll get into later. But right now, I don't want all these. Because right now, we started a W conversation. And the W people going to start dwindling because, people just have no patience these days. But that is what I got coming up for the Eagles soon. Chicago is too young. Yeah, that is part of the problem. No doubt about it. Too young. The best players are the young ones. And the older players they got just not good enough. I like Ariel Atkins, but right now, what Chicago need to be doing is just give Ariel Atkins the fucking ball. Put Haley Van Lith at the 2. And let's just see what happens, man. It don't even matter. Just go out there jacking, man. Let's do it. Pass the ball into just have fun now. Like, right now, the Chicago Sky should be playing with house money. There ain't no expectations. Y'all trash. You stink. Nobody expecting you to do anything. They might as well just go out there and play loose and free. Might as well. And then see what happens, man. That's kind of where I am with it. Felicia Daniel says, honestly, Angel fans wouldn't even have anything to say about CC if they left Angel alone. Take the L and move on. Scroll down any Angel and CC post. Compare which page has the worst comments. Exactly, Felicia. Dre P, bro, you troll all the time. You don't cook me. I don't even know who you are, boss, but I'm sure I do cook your ass. I don't be trolling. Like, I don't know what that is. That's some, Generation Z bullshit or whatever they call these damn people. I don't troll, homie. Israel Veloda. Everyone plays defense sometimes, yeah, exactly. Clarkies go out of their way to find any post or content creator that likes Sky or Angel. You hardly see any Angel fan in the comments or CC creators live. Yeah, exactly. I don't have the ability to sit and listen to Ben Daniels or bald-head ass Rudy or some of them real worst guys like behind the lines. Like that dude, I would smack the shit out of him. So I don't even have the patience to listen to him. Angry Fan is funny. And I know Angry Fan is full of shit. He really just want to do battle rap and he's just jumping on the wave. So I listen to him and I think he's funny. Who else? Who's the little dork? The little dude, young boy. Somebody sent me a copy of his John yesterday. He's just jumping on Angel Reese all crazy. I don't know his name. Little black kid. I can't even get mad at him because he's little, you know what I'm saying? But I can't sit there and listen to what they say because their commentary to me is trash. Most of them guys, some of them are talented speakers. I think Ben Dames is talented as far as his ability to speak. Rudy is an asshole. So I don't really, because Rudy talks about things I don't like, that he has no business talking about. But most of those guys I can't deal with their content because it's rarely just basketball. And when it is, it's like Mr. Obvious things. And it's just trash. I don't even want to start thinking about them guys. Are the Sky picking up anybody? I don't know that they can. Major Sports Network. BD Sports, not all CC fans are biased. I don't know. In the BD Sports, there are extremes on both sides. Of course, there are extremes on both sides. Yeah. But a lot of times, extremism leads to extremism, right? So if a person comes out and they can't be real about Angel Reese, they got to say she sucks, right? Then in the other side, you're going to say Caitlin Clark sucks. Right, because their attitude is like, well, fuck her. That's just the natural human response to that. So, of course, extremism breeds extremism. Valerie Brunson, I'm glad that the females are getting attention. Yeah, that is the overall good thing about it. Females getting attention. I agree with that. Benjamin Smith says, when do the Liberty lose and to who? Of course, no job. They're never going to lose, Ben, until they face the Aces in the playoffs or in the finals. But they're never going to lose. Or maybe they'll lose one game to Minnesota. You figure it got to be a week they come out there and they're not right. But they almost did lose to the Fever, right? Fever gave one of their best games. For some reason, they kind of take the gas off when it comes to Fever, and then the Fever you can't take your foot off the gas because they can they shoot threes and they can kind of jump back in real quick, and then if your offense is discombobulated, they can catch you. BD Sports, I said, which folks would just stick to the basketball. Me too. So I really don't care about the other stuff. I think they're all nice girls, honestly. I think Angel Reese off the court is a nice girl. I think Caitlin Clark is a nice girl off the court. I think all of them are. They're not, out here trying to do anything harmful or hurt anybody. So I do wish people would stick to the basketball. I think they're all young. I think they're all talented young ladies with good futures ahead of them, as far as off the court goes. Benny the Marble says, Foulette, you are bringing the smoke to these CC fans early. I love it, man. I don't know how not to do that. Like, cause right now they turning it up, so I turn it up. That's all I know how to do. Right? I don't know how to go into defeat because Chicago is losing, so I'm going to go cower in defeat. No, I'm going on the offense. That's the way it goes. Jared and Israel going at it. Yeah, I'll let you handle Israel, Jared. Israel just be like, Mr. Too Good as Usual says those weren't even real blocks. Say those weren't even real blocks. Valerie Brunson, everyone needs to get better. That's why you play. I agree. Absolutely fair, true statement. Choose stuck. I'm not reading that about that. I'm not reading that. That's not a good statement right there. Ronnie Repass, from a CC fan, why do people defend her turnovers when she knows she needs to improve? Exactly. Yep. Don't need to defend turnovers. Jack says, Eagles about to be scared. Scared of who? What are the Eagles about to be scared of? You know what I mean? Jared Thomas. Felicia Daniels, the best advice to give a CC fan is tell CC to go win. Exactly. What we got going on here? He said her members got cooked in the Super Bowl. Shh. Jack, Joe Hammer, Lamar got done like Jalen Hurts. Well, to be fair, Herm was going up against Cliff Branch, and you know what I'm saying? Biletnikoff, like them guys. You know what I'm saying? But the whole team was getting cooked in the Super Bowl, man. Dick Vermeil just didn't have them guys ready to play, man. He had them what Dick Vermeil did was he was a young coach at the time, and he overtrained the Eagles, whereas the Raiders were chilling. Like the Raiders had that was the post John Madden team, but they were like more. You probably know about this. They were like more relaxed because the Raiders were used to winning. The Eagles just came off of beating the Dallas Cowboys in the championship game, which they were like, I mean, the whole purpose, that was their Super Bowl, beating Dallas, right? So when they went and played the Raiders, they got punched in the mouth. It was an emotional letdown. All right. Everyone will give their opinion on who's the best, absolutely. Hit the like button. I agree with Valerie Brunson. Hit the like button. D says, yo, I'm a big fan from New Zealand. Can you shout out me and my cousin? Her name is Haywood Jablomi. For shout outs cost $10 and for in super chat. For $10 super chat, we do shout outs. So now I'm just fucking with you. All right, so Haywood Jablomi, shout out to you, Haywood Jablomi. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, man. If not, I apologize, my man. Valerie Brunson, I used to be a sports lover. It has been diluted for years. Yeah. Jared Thomas, you're forgetting Charge the Game. Charge the Game, he's still around. I haven't seen him. EJ Santiago, you must be a vendor. 150 Gamer says, can you say good morning? Sammy Seed and Kaiser Seed, please. Listen, man, all y'all gonna keep up here asking for shit. Y'all gonna have to send some money up in them damn super chats asking for stuff. What's wrong with y'all? For land of Liberty will lose eventually, but I think they'll win the championship in a repeat. Of course you think that Liberty gonna win in a championship repeat, Jared. I wouldn't expect nothing different from you. Eddie Blue says, or Eddie Boule? My bad, Bowie, if I'm pronouncing your name properly, man. My bad if I'm not. I bet the Sky will beat them. The Sky will be who? New York? Yeah. Oh, man. Sky got to figure out how to get out their own way, man. There's a guy on there, Mick Talks, like he's not even from the country. I can't stand those CC channels. Never watch them hate their thumbnails. Always crazy on Angel Reese titles. Yeah, me too. I can't stand Mick's channel. Valerie, on the court, everyone is your enemy. Afterwards, we good. It's good to see competitive players. Yes, sir, Valerie. Yes, sir, Valerie. Say, but if I'm an Eagles fan, it would be these sports if I'm an Eagles fan. Listen, when I turn this way, all I see is Philadelphia. When I turn that way, all I see is Philadelphia. When I turn that way, all I see is Philadelphia. If I'm an Eagles fan. I ain't like most of these like you, because you got a lot of Eagle YouTube content creators who really dominate the space, which blows my mind. But these dudes be in Washington, they be in California. This is one dude who's this big Eagle content creator. He's in California, literally. You got some of them in like all different types of places. Like, I'm literally in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? But the difference between me and a lot of them, I'm honest about the team. You know. And that doesn't sit well with everybody. But, you know. BD Sports, the fake blocks come from how people saying they were giving her blocks for deflections and faking her numbers. I mean, they probably are fake, but it's cool, whatever. Like, I don't mind they give her that. I know the reality of her defense. I don't care nothing about that. Brandon Sleep, my man, came through with the super chat, $4.99. If you're a fan here, love the channel and respect your takes. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Fever fan. You from Indiana, bro? Or you like came on with Caitlin Clark? Not that it matters. Either way is cool. But I'm just curious if you from Indiana, and were you like a fan of the greats? Tamika Catchings, who I used to watch. I used to love Tamika Catchings, Shamiqua Holtzclaw. Those were two of my favorites, back then. Remember the commercial, If I Could Be Like Meech, with Michael Jordan on there? That was a good time. I remember I used to debate with people about who was better, Shamiqua and Holtzclaw and damn. We used to always debate who's better between Holtzclaw and Catchings. You know what I mean? And that was one of the different things. Catchings was a defensive juggernaut. She's like almost the opposite of Caitlin Clark, Tamika Catchings. She was like definitely, obviously, the all-time greatest Fever, but a defensive stalwart, who on offense was good too, but she wasn't like flashy on offense and everything. Like she was hardcore on offense. You feel me? Whereas Valerie Brunson says, I'm a Detroit Lions fan for life. They suck most of the time. I am a fan, good or bad. I like the direction they're going. Yeah. So did your Valerie, are you from Detroit, or were you like a Barry Sanders fan who latched on? Because I think a lot of Detroit had a lot of fans during that time. Barry Sanders, Megatron, because Detroit at certain times gets some of the greatest players you ever seen at times. But this is the first time they really put together a legitimate team that could threaten. BD Sports going hard in the paint. Says a lot of Fever fans aren't Fever fans, they CC fans. This is true. A lot of them can't even tell you nothing about Tamika Catchings. Bernie the Marble says, I want them to play with heart and at least do their best to keep it close. Yeah, that's the most you can ask. Really, I just want to see what the new players can do. I want to see what Maddie can do. I want to see what HBL can do. This is where I am. I done moved past, whether or not there's a chance they can make the playoffs. I don't even care. Just show me the players, what they can do. And then even with Angel Reese, I just want to see her happier, just playing more free. Look, it's house money at this point. Y'all suck. It is what it is, right? According to everybody. It's house money. Just go ball out. Just go ball out. Some of the girls back in the day could play. Oh, yeah. A lot of girls could play. Oh, you Detroit born and raised? Okay, that's what's up. So maybe our two teams will see each other in the championship game. It was supposed to happen last year. Detroit didn't do their part. And you got Amon Ra here talking crap, talking about, hey, would it be the Eagles and all that? Listen, Amon Ra, you know what I mean? Bruh, nobody trying to hear that. I mean, I get all those injuries on defense, but, hey, y'all lost. It makes you think you would have beat the Eagles. The Eagles threw 450 on Washington. So what's going to happen if you play the Eagles? Come on now. Like, they need to be mad at Washington. Be mad at the Eagles' fault. Amon Ra. Goody Two Shoes says that Benny the Sky can win if Angel goes rogue. But Angel's very respectful to coaches. Shit, I wish she would go rogue, Miss Goody Two Shoes. You know what I mean? Because what happens is when you go rogue and you win, then the coach got to start following you. They ain't got no choice. You know what I mean? Because the fans gonna be behind the player. So I wish he would just go rogue. Shit, give me something to watch. BD Sports says a lot of them never even watched the W before CC, so it's hard for me to take seriously. Ronnie Repass comes through with the 499 Nizzy super chat. 30 minutes from Virginia Tech. When was I Eagles fan? When was I Eagles? Are you saying you were an Eagles fan, or are you as, or are you like responding to someone who said you were? I'm not quite sure. But Virginia Tech, yeah, Virginia Tech, boy, that was my school when the Vicks were there. You know what I mean? That's Mike and Marcus, who a lot of people don't know about. Marcus was actually supposed to be more talented than Mike. Remember that? But he was just a knucklehead. But like the reason I like Virginia Tech is because I always hated the Hurricanes. You know, back in the old back when they were in the old Big East, and they used to always whoop Temple ass. Like every year we had that game against Miami where they were just whipping our ass. I ain't like Ray Lewis. I ain't like Sean Taylor. I ain't like none of them dudes, man. I ain't like McGahee. I did like Portis though. The Portis had a little funny little way of running. You know what I mean? That was my man. But I always like kind of wanted Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech had my young boy, a running back. Damn. Number 27. Remember him? He went and the Lions drafted him. His name is missing is escaping me right now. That was my man. Oh, you said when Vic played for the Eagles. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. BD Sports, a lot of them never even watched the W before CC. So it's hard for me to take some of these, take serious. Exactly. And if CC go to another team, guess what? They gonna follow that team. They don't care nothing about no damn a fever. Alfredo says Fulana's last day OTAs, aka mandatory minicamp. After that is a dry spell until July. Luckily, AJ and Smitty blessing us with content. If you haven't seen it, AJ dropped a video with Smitty. Yeah, I see all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I just don't really talk about it here like that much. I'm gonna start doing that though pretty soon. But I usually start my my Eagles content around preseason, unless, like I said, something extraordinary happens that I got to report on. We pick up a player or we cut a player, something like that. Valerie Brunson says nobody wants to hear excuses. If you could have won against the Eagles first, you have to beat the Skins. Okay, Valerie, you really about them sports. I feel you. You got the real sports energy. Well, that Miami squad was crazy though. Miami was the old Alabama back then. You know what I mean? They had all the recruits, man. So Andrew needs help. The rest of the team has to wake up and step up. We need someone to show out, bring the dog to the game. It got to be Ariel. It has to be Ariel. It has to be Ariel. But I would bring HVL out there too because I like her. Like in terms of, I think she's going to fight. I just want rumblers that's going to yell at the defense and yell at. That's what I want. I just need them to just show me some emotion. Even if it's in losses, just fight. Football fans in the chat, will Shador Sanders start? Absolutely. I don't know if it'll be from day one, but that's Shador's. Now, my insidious ass, I think that Cleveland possibly might have wanted him to start the whole time, but they decided, we're gonna do this old BS and put him through that ritual that led to him getting picked in the 5th round, just to send a message to him. Oh yeah, we'll make you play, but it ain't gonna be the way you thought. We're gonna humble you so that you're not getting that top money and all of that. But the thing about it is they're gonna overcome it, and it's really disrespectful. And I hated everything about it because that's just not how you treat an all-time great in Deion Sanders. You just don't do that. Like, he's a treasure to the NFL. You know how many players wanted to come to the NFL because of Deion Sanders and wanted to imitate his game, and how many. He's the one that made the cornerback position, cool. My favorite cornerbacks were always Mike Haynes and Rod Woodson. Those were always my favorite cornerbacks. But the guy that made it cool is Deion Sanders, and I don't get it. I don't get it. So you think Watson gonna start in the beginning, but Watson keep playing the way he play, it ain't gonna be for long. Tarek says Watson not playing this season. Okay. Ginger Spice says, I'll be so salty when Angel Reese and Cardoso be in the post and they rush the shot. I agree. I agree with that. They need to really take their time. They just throw the ball up without looking at the basket and cry for fouls when they don't get it. Yep, I agree. That's a real criticism. That's real. That's different from saying, Angel can't make a layup. Camilla can't make a layup or whatever. Right? They don't really mess with Camilla because Camilla just never they never mocked it. Because they both beat freaking Cece, but Camilla never mocked her, I guess. And then Camilla, I don't know. Camilla ain't got that style. Camilla ain't cool. Camilla don't really go out there trying to look pretty or anything, So I guess that those are the things that that's why they don't really mess with Camilla like that. But I agree. Both of them need more patience in the post. Another thing I want to see them using more mid-range shots. Camilla definitely can hit 10-footers and 15-footers and 12-footers, all throughout, that area. She can, in the elbow and she can hit all of those things. I don't know why that's not being utilized more. Why must we insist on only getting them to the basket all the time? And then when they're under there, you're right. There's not enough patience. It's not about can't make a layup. What it is it's like they have to make it harder for the defenders under there, which they're not doing well. You think Flacco gonna start before Shador? See, Cleveland better not go out there doing that dumb stuff because, put it this way, I will say this: I'm not opposed to rookies sitting for a while and learning. If you're gonna do that, then okay, that's what you're doing. But you look at Cleveland. They do that, they just be throwing in a towel on the season. And then they got to be concerned about guys like Myles Garrett and other veterans who are good at their job and how they're going to react to that type of stuff. You got to give them a reason to be motivated and wanting to play besides just to check. And I think the best way to do that is Shador. You put Shador out there, give them some hope. Okay, we got somebody that might be able to help us do something. Might as well get right to it. Unless those guys believe in Flacco. It's up to them. If they believe in Flacco, different. I just can't imagine they do. I can't imagine they do. BD Sports says Prime is a GOAT, period. What, the GOAT cornerback? That's the popular view, yep. That is definitely the popular view. Says mine was Lester Hayes. Yeah. But Mike Haynes was better than Lester Hayes, though. You do know that, right? I like Lester, too, though. But Mike Haynes was better. Lester had that he's putting all that stickum on his damn gloves. But Lester was a beast. That was the best cornerback tandem in history. You know what I mean? To shut down the Smurfs, you know what I mean? Come on, man. You already know. Benny DeMarble says, Brother Foulin, they didn't treat Archie Manning like that. It's a shame. Exactly, Benny. BD Sports and Eric Allen, you know him well, I'm sure. Come on, man. Come on, bro. What kind of questions are you asking me, bro? Eric Allen, you know what I'm saying? It's Wes Hopkins, Dirty Waters, you know what I mean? Seth Joyner, Byron Evans, William Thomas, you know what I'm saying? Mike Caldwell. Come on, man. We're not even gonna do that this morning. Tarek says Cardoso is too friendly out there. I like my centers playing angry. I agree. But that's her personality. Valerie Brunson says, I've enjoyed myself. I'll be back for more spirited conversation. All right, have a blessed day, Valerie. I'm about to cut out pretty soon too. Benny DeMarble, Brother Fulan, who has the best cheesesteak? The best cheesesteak in Philadelphia is the one that I make in the house. But if you're not so lucky to taste that, there are a number of places. What I do not recommend, we'll start there, is Pat Sergino's. That there are for visitors of Philadelphia who have never had a cheesesteak, who are what you call tourists. The tourist spots, because of where they're located. They're close to the stadiums. And there's a lot of, and they're also close to the Italian market in Philadelphia, which pretty much runs on South Street at about 11th and South Street, right? I recommend other places down there. All right, there's a place called Jim's that's actually better. The Andros is better in those areas. Now, if you are in North Philadelphia, I recommend Max's, which is on Broad and Erie. I also recommend, let me see, man, shoot, if you in the Badlands, there's places down there. Leandros. This is what I will tell you though. I will tell you this. In Philadelphia, it's hard to find a bad cheesesteak. You know, like really, like a bad cheesesteak is, besides Geno's in them, that their cheesesteaks are just atrocious, because what they do is they use gristly meat. You know, they think let's use ribeye meat, right? Which is fine. But if you're going to use ribeye meat, you have to degristle it. It's nothing like biting into a cheesesteak, right? And then they like to put cheese whiz on it. You know what cheese whiz is? That stuff that you put on cheese fries. They like to put, it's the Italian way to do it. You know, the Italians. No disrespect to them, but they should stick to calzones and fucking, you know, panzerottis and all that shit. But when they start messing with cheesesteaks, they like to use gristly behind ribeye meat, and then they put cheese whiz on that, and then it messes up our reputation. And people thinking that a cheesesteak is, which is the greatest sandwich on the planet, they believe that now a cheesesteak is a bad sandwich, and it pisses me off, because it's the only thing they had was that the Italian way. Okay, I recommend, man, going to the Northeast. You can go to all over the place, okay, and get better cheesesteaks. All right, but I recommend Max's, but that's kind of in the hood. You know, you might be in that area and might look around and be a little scared, because there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of bums that's gonna come up to you, might ask for money. There's gonna be hacks asking you, do you need a ride? Taxi hack. Don't let none of them people scare you. You can go into Max's. What you'll see outside of Max's, you'll see a big mural of Kevin Hart on there, because Kevin Hart used to literally live upstairs there. So it's safe, is what I'm saying. You can go there. It's just the area will look a little wild. I might actually go live from Max's one time, just show you that. Oh man. Miss Goody Two Shoes says, the Sky is winning tonight, y'all. All right, I'm with that. Miss Goody Two Shoes. We're gonna roll with that. Felicia Daniels says he has a point, but it's not most of the time. And he should have said and cried for the foul they deserve, because let's be real, they both got cheated out of a hell lot of fouls, being 100. Said, thanks, man. I've been watching JL Jupiter Food Channel in Philly. Oh, yeah, I got to check that out. I've never seen that. Oh, my goodness. Felicia Daniels, one of our best with the $5 super, says you don't have the option to just send without a message. Thanks for keeping it real. All righty. We appreciate that for sure. For shizzy. How do I get to the rest of my messages? How do we get to the rest of these messages here? I'm going to start handing out wrenches pretty soon, too. That's something I've been meaning to do. I've been meaning to do that. I am going to start doing that soon. Once I start going live more regularly, like live I kind of do so kind of every now and then. Philan, can your boy get a wrench? All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out. This was a nice one. This was a nice little live here, man. I just had some stuff I had to get off my chest. You know what I mean? But it is a must. It's a must that I get out here and do something with myself today. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'll get with you folks later, man. This was really good. Peace.